Yeah, we're a business.
We're a
man.
business. This is a business podcast.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. What the fuck is that noise? Unless they're gonna hear this beeping. Whoa!
Welcome to Hivescum.
Krakatoa.
Welcome to Hivescum.
Welcome to Hivescum.
The only podcast that does soda cracks.
Yeah, ever. That's ever done it.
Motherfuckers.
The podcast for the 28 community. Woo! We're here, and we are talking about our favorite magic card.
Mine's Fling.
Is yours really Fling?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite one. I said
it
Goblin.
really is.
Goblin Lackey I have like a lot of nostalgia for. Mm-hmm. But then Wheel of Fortune is like...
Wheel of Fortune's pretty cool.
It's just... Wheel of Fortune kind of sums up what I love about Magic.
Chaos.
Kind of, yeah. Just like...
I mean, yeah.
Silly.
Plane Chase is my favorite way to play because of that. Just chaos.
Yeah. Yep. Steve is thinking hard.
I have the like 5 cards that I really like that I would think of. Accumulative Knowledge was my favorite card for a very long time.
That's a crazy card to be your favorite.
Yeah, that's
well,
good.
because it was just referred to as AK, and I thought that was really cool. Yeah. And it had a cool effect. Like for each one in the graveyard, you drew an extra card. I thought that was very fun.
Reoccurring Nightmare.
Reoccurring Nightmare.
Is that one of your top 5?
The art is.
Yeah.
The card is very good,
No,
but the
totally.
art is so sick. Yeah, we'll say that. Just
Nice.
Just based on the art.
Yeah, it's good art.
It's good.
Anyways, I'm Terry. It's Stonejaw on the In Wrestling Shows Discord.
I'm Gage at No Clear Coat.
I'm Steve. At Blood Transfusion.
Oh, got him. Oh, good to have you guys.
Hey, thanks so much.
It's like we never left.
It's like we never left.
It's been snowing a lot. Lately
Thanks for
here
having
in
me.
the old Northeast.
Yeah, that's
And it
why
sucks.
patrons will notice the difference between the audio quality in the Patreon episode to this
Yeah,
episode.
probably. It started snowing, and then I had to leave because I'm a
He
baby.
Became frantic.
You could call me a baby. That's fine. I'm a baby about snow.
To be fair, I mean, you left a little early, which is fine. It's safe and
I
responsible.
still made it home. I had to go over a big, tall mountain.
I was going to say, to be fair, that storm was bad.
It was annoying.
It got worse.
It was just bad the whole way through.
I got up real early and plowed or did the snowblow thing, and it was easy peasy after that. But
Did they plow your streets where you live?
I mean,
Yes, for me, yes. I
Kinda,
live on a main
well,
road, though.
it took them a while, but they did.
I meant the
eventually.
side streets. Like that street that you take a right past your...
To get to the soda store?
Yeah.
The soda store.
Yes. But
Like my street was not plowed.
Yeah,
like they
that's
plowed
technically
once,
also
and
a
now
main.
it's just like I can't
Oh,
back
it's
out of my
still
drive.
icy.
I can't get
My
out of my
driveway.
street without 4-wheel drive on.
That's so cool.
dude, the FedEx, I sent you guys the video, but the FedEx truck got stuck in my driveway.
I mean, he's kind of foolish for pulling up there.
we had 6 people like digging it out, pushing. We were just like,
The guy's just sitting in his car, revving the gas. Harder, guys! Come on, somebody help me out
He
here.
runs over Lucian.
I think Danny's got a video of me because she was driving and she was like, well, I'll try and push and dig it out. You can drive. So there's a video of me in the FedEx truck just trying to move it.
That's awesome.
I didn't realize this is a little hack for all you listeners out
Oh.
there. If you ever steal a FedEx truck, to put it in drive, there's a button underneath the steering column. That
Oh, okay.
unlocks the truck.
Anti-theft kind of
Ambulances,
thing.
too.
Yeah. Okay. Ambulances too. There you go.
This is like an anti-theft thing.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first. It's a hobby hack
Hobby hack. Go steal an ambulance.
or a FedEx truck full of Christmas presents.
Yeah. Christmas presents.
It could be yours.
February.
Well, you got to get ready for next year.
Dude, that's got to be a whole thing. Like people stealing your Christmas presents from
Dude,
the FedEx
real
trucks.
Grinch vibes. The modern day Grinch.
But like the whole truck.
You just have your little dog with like reindeer ears tied to him in the passenger seat.
You're just like, get in.
That's cool.
That would be really cool. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year we'll steal a FedEx truck.
Yeah, that would be sick. Well, just pay on the side. It'll be the Hivescum van.
There you go.
They'll
Patrons
never
of
find out.
the highest tier will get the presents.
you get
we
to
have in the back.
ride. You get to ride in the Hivescum stolen van. Speaking of painting the side of a van, Terry,
Okay.
what have you been doing?
Oh, I thought that was going somewhere way cooler. Dude, I've been grinding on the hobby thing, dude. So we haven't talked since like Necropolis.
So there's been beef. Yeah.
There's been beef?
Yeah. We haven't
Yeah,
talked.
with you.
Oh, yeah. We haven't even talked. I haven't been allowed back in. They changed the locks.
That's it. Yeah.
I just
Do you know the door combo?
No, I don't. I don't.
The last 2 times you've had to knock.
Well, there's 2 doors, listeners. There's 2 doors. There
2
used to only
codes.
be 1 code to remember, and that's all my little tiny brain can comprehend. Even then, today I had to punch in that code 4 times until I was like, "What code is this?" It's a combination of 3 numbers, and I just couldn't get it.
It also makes a little
Tetris piece.
Yes,
That's
it
the only way
does.
I remember it.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't know. It took me a while, but I got in, and then I don't know the code to the main door, so I just don't come in there.
That's
I
okay.
just knock, and I just hope
fine.
that. I mean,
the soap lady let me in.
There you go. Was she
I
nice?
didn't- Yeah. It's good to see you again. And then she said, you're the podcaster. And I said, yes, I am.
yes, you're the soaper.
That sucks bad.
Oh, yeah.
I hate being referred to that.
Yeah, you're the pod. We all heard about you. We talk about you.
We talk about you in the soap room.
yeah, we sell
In the
we-
soap industry.
Those lame people doing the podcast downstairs about little tiny toys, and we're up here grinding away at our soap.
The soap factory. They
serious
100%
business.
can hear us through the floor, though.
That's okay.
That's okay. We love them. We love you, soap people. But I've been working really hard. But before I even kind of got into my working, we played a game, you and me, Gage.
Did we?
What game
Yes.
did you play?
This is how long it's been.
Did you play Necropolis?
We played your first game of
we
OPR
played
Regiments.
OPR, yeah.
Oh, shit.
You're right. Yeah.
Which is like...
we didn't even talk about it.
No, it's been so long since we recorded a main app.
Yeah,
And this
played-
episode comes out in like 3 days or some shit, so I got to put
It'll
the
be
pedal to the metal. Ah, yeah.
I've played 3 games of OPR Regiment since then.
yeah.
That's crazy. Since that game or
Yeah,
total?
Since that game.
Who'd you
Probably
play
also
other games
total,
with?
though, right?
Tyler.
Phil?
No, am I just gaslighting
I
myself?
think you're making
Yeah.
this up.
Yeah. Maybe you played in your dreams. Sometimes I
Yeah,
play in
that
my
sounds-
dreams.
Maybe I played in my dream. No, I had a horrific dream last night.
About
Well, tell us
OPR
about
regiments?
Yeah, we could talk about that. I definitely only played twice, by the way. I'm just gaslighting everyone, including
That's
myself.
okay. You're it was dramatic effect.
Yeah, it was dramatic effect. Put an effect thing on it. My dream last night was like an Adepticon-esque memory of me being like in an auditorium with like people from the hobby scene, people that we like hang out with.
Yeah.
And I
Our
announced to
friends.
everyone, and I went, I have terminal cancer. And I immediately woke up and was like, what the fuck?
Dang.
But I like
Have you
had
gone
my
to the doctor lately?
I haven't, but I had my arms like outward.
I am Christ.
Like a Christ-like pose, like announcing to all of my friends in this room, and I
Hear
was
ye,
like,
hear
I
ye.
have terminal cancer.
This is like the worst Bilbo's farewell party that has ever happened.
A literal disappears.
And then he disappears,
I
yeah.
was like, wow, cool, awesome way to wake up.
Yeah.
But anyway, Terry, we played OPR.
And it was a blast, dude. I had such a fun. That was like one of my most cinematic games.
It was very fun. I am a very vocal hater of OPR, and it changed my perspective.
Yeah.
But not to steal from your point of view, we can talk about my.
Well, I mean, I'd like to actually hear it more through your eyes, but I had a lot of fun. I had changed some things around in my list because it was, not my first game playing. But the best thing was those last like 2 rounds where there was just a big gob of different units,
Yeah.
and then having to figure out how it was like a weird, when you're trying to park all the cars, that little game where it's like you got to
Yes,
pull
yeah,
this
yeah.
car out to fit that car in
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
It was like this weird thing where I was like, okay, if I turn 90 degrees, you're going to hit me with this unit from the side, but I need to get hit here because I can't get hit from the side by this bigger unit. And so it was this kind of like Tetrising around.
It's funny because I didn't have that like mentality until maybe the last round, where
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this actually matters. Like,
totally.
it's not just like a let's smash heads type of game.
And it did, like, there was a bunch of things where it's like your unit, even though I had tried to kill it, if I had killed that unit, your other unit would have moved in and done way more damage. So there's all this kind of like
Right.
weird shenanigans that had been happening with that. But the last big battle was like my Hell Pit Abomination
Yep.
and your orc leader on a dragon.
Yep. A wyvern.
A wyvern, and we were going head to head, and then just like rolling dice, and we kept, because the fear mechanic
Adds to the wound count at the end of the
Yes.
and so like I had
Resolution.
fear 2, you had fear 3, but we kept going back and forth and like either tying or like just missing by 1 or 2, and
Right.
it was so cool.
There was also like a weird game on the side of that where my chariot was like kind of parallel parked between two units and was just like backing up and doing the same
it's
thing.
like Mike
every time.
Myers and Austin Powers.
Yeah,
just like
just in the hallway, but doing impact hits every time.
Those impact hits will get you.
yeah.
It was cool. And like maneuvering in that game is obviously so important. But
Yes.
To my previous point where OPR was always billed as like this. It's this thing you love, but like way simpler.
Yeah.
The mechanics aren't as hard. They're not as
it's baby
It's not
version.
as crunchy.
right. And to me, that was a bad selling point because it felt like, okay, I already know and love this thing. I'm not intimidated by these scary mechanics. So saying there's less of them is not really a selling point.
Yeah.
But after playing a game, putting my money where my mouth is, it doesn't feel like a baby version, I would say. It's not like dumbed down, because we were talking about this again today because Paul just played his first game against Steve, but
Whooped his ass.
it just plays like a rules light version of.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain.
Well, because it's not even rules light, because there are a lot of rules.
There are a lot of rules, and yeah, to that point, they're like, if you really dive into the mechanic of like, okay, my Black Orcs have was it Head Taker, which
Yes.
is do more damage against heroes, or
Against-
Tough 3 or higher.
Tough 3.
So those kind of rules are where the crunch is. And when I was list building, I was like, I don't care. I just
totally.
I want as many Black Orcs as I can run. I want chariots. I want boar riders, and I want a crazy hero. I'm done. Whatever.
Easy list.
Yeah.
It was easy to play against Terry, but it was also, it's that like counteracting, being like, okay, well, if I don't send my Black Orcs towards his hero, it's kind of a waste.
Yes. I had to tell Paul that with his Slayers, because his Slayers are the same thing.
Yeah, and I think that exists in all war games. I mean, like, I know.
Yeah. Rock beats paper.
Right.
Like that
right.
happens
It is,
all over.
It is the rock, paper, scissors argument, but I think it's knowing the rock, paper, scissors argument of this game, where it's not a simplified version because it's for idiots. It's a simplified version because it's just a streamlined thing. Like I said, it's not my favorite game. I'm not going to, oh my God, this is the best thing ever, but I will happily accept a match now, knowing that it's not just a game for brain dead wargamers.
Well, totally.
As it was billed by the community.
And that's my biggest thing about one-page rules is I remember first hearing about one-page rules and being like, one page of rules sounds like a really boring game.
Yeah,
like I don't want to
exactly.
play a
Right.
game that only has one page.
Right.
But then when you actually play it and you realize, like you're saying, all these weird little interactions and how they matter,
Yes,
and then how
yes.
you lay out your turn, what unit goes first,
Right.
how
Alternating activations.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one page of rules front and back, but then your army list and their rules are its own separate thing, which is
Totally.
also pretty much one page, but it's how all those rules interact with the
Yes.
other rules that makes it complex.
Right.
totally.
And to be fair, I looked through the advanced rules the day after Tara and I played, and there's a lot there that I prefer.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
They have command points, like like a whole stratagem page,
Yeah,
which it's
yeah.
not as crazy. It's like the stratagems in that, there's like a couple options that are universal, and then there's a bunch that you and your opponent each like pick a couple, and then that's for your game.
Right. It is still just more heft to the game to make it kind of what we're more used
Crunchier.
to. Yeah.
Which that we do play with, like we play with like the advance in the charge and shoot mechanic.
Yes.
Where like you can shoot
I know
your ranged weapon.
Tyler fucking ruined me with that.
Yeah, it's nasty.
The units he allied from you, I think.
The marksman.
Yeah.
Yes, because you can shoot your ranged weapon and then still charge, and you take a -1 to attacking, but like the benefit is if you have impact hits or something like that, it's really good. But yeah, the game rocks.
I will say
does.
from a game that is simplified on the list building front, like the Army Forge is excellent.
Totally.
That's like
It's one of my favorite army builders.
yeah, that is
Great.
like the greatest tool for the game. I will say, and this is just because of the size of game it is very easy to get into a matchup where you still can get swept under the rug.
Oh, absolutely.
Where you're like, oh, I took a bunch of units that are like solely good against these things, and then I'm playing a
the opposite.
A Doom Wheel full army that just runs circles around me and shoots me off the board.
Well, it's like playing like orcs versus Tau, and all the Tau player just is all the way back as far as he can with big guns, and then you're just like, okay, cool, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's like the same thing happens in Warhammer too.
Absolutely. I think that's where my gripe is, where it's like it's not really fixing the problem. It's just making them different.
But I kind of
that's
like
not
that.
even. I like that because then an army has a style. It's like as the orc player, it's like, oh, I know I'm playing Tau. I should bring Def Coptas and like deep striking guys.
Right. My only gripe with it is maybe I worded it wrong. Is if it's such a simplified game, having an army builder where you're like, okay, this is exactly what I'm doing. It still kind of wants you to learn.
Oh, totally.
Other armies,
armies, other abilities.
Yeah,
and I think that's a great thing because then it kind of reinforces this is a crunchy game that you can be sweaty with.
Yes.
But like the purpose of the game and its simplified, quote unquote rules is to get someone who may not want to dive headfirst into Warhammer Fantasy Battle Old World.
Yeah.
I still think it's very much a stepping stone.
Yeah. Because Old World is cool. And I as you were talking about everything, it made me think, like, why didn't I want to play Old World? Because I love 6th edition.
Right.
But I think it's like when I go back and look at those rules and how they're laid out and like maybe it's the formatting of how they handle their rules and where you find everything.
Yeah.
And that's like a Games Workshop problem. That's not necessarily the game's fault.
Right.
And in any of those Games Workshop games, you feel it feels necessary to use the advanced rules.
Yes.
Like you can't really strip away command points or different things,
and they don't
from Age
offer
of
you an
Sigmar.
Option for that.
No, totally. It's just like you can choose to try, but it's not
if they
be
did a
as
simplified
interesting in the
version,
game.
I think that would go over so well. But
For Old World?
or any of them,
Yeah.
I mean, like even when Kill Team was part of 40K, like same mechanically, I think that was like a good introductory tool.
Yeah.
But being like, okay, now you can play Kill Team, and then you have the models, but the stats do not correlate whatsoever to 10th.
Yeah.
And by the way, this unit is probably not even legal by itself.
Yeah. You're not learning anything about 10th edition by playing Kill Team.
It's such a stupid thing. Whereas like an OPR thing, it's like OPR Quest, like the Quest series, that interests me.
Have you played it yet?
I played with Blurs and Kate, but
Dude, it's so good.
And from, I mean, we're getting hot and heavy already in this pod, but
No, dude, go off.
The greatest thing OPR did is that their stat lines are the same and across all games.
Yeah,
So-
Quest is the only slightly different one.
Right,
Because
and
it's a different game.
because it's essentially a role playing game. And then my gripe with that is it's not really a good role playing game, but it's a good role playing add on to a war game.
Yes. It's a skirmish role-playing game.
Yeah.
But a super stripped down one, and like with
Yes.
just you could play one model,
Right. And
which
then
is
what's
super
cool is they even have the option to be like, okay, Terry, you've built this guy up through the last 10 games of Quest that you played. You can take him in regiments or at least the AOS one. I don't know about
the fantasy
regiments.
one.
But,
I don't know if it translates to regiments.
and then he's still beefed up because he did all those quests in 10th.
That's so cool.
And he has like a point cost
yeah.
associated with him for that. But I think it's so cool.
I think that is the greatest thing. Accessibility. That's all it really boils down to. OPR is killing it with accessibility. And to that point, that is why I think it's so popular right now, especially in our friend circle, because it's just like, okay, change your list. I have to click 4 things on this website and I'm done. And I can just go do the fun part of hobbying and playing.
And like I was saying before, you can choose to, it's my first game, let's play the totally stripped down basic rules where we're rolling D3 plus 2 objectives.
Yeah.
We're not adding any advanced stuff into it, and I'm just going to teach you how to play. And you get a full-fledged game, but you don't feel like
overwhelmed.
You don't feel overwhelmed, and you also don't feel like you're being like babied.
Yeah.
You know,
Me and Paul
you're playing a
played-
full game.
Paul, he took the game in strides. Like he did a great job. There were a couple play mistakes where I tried to like, hey, maybe do this instead. I tried to like not coach him or backseat drive his army, but like, hey, you have a few options here. This is what you should do or is most beneficial, but like here are your options. Do whichever one you want as like you see fit. And he did great.
Totally. And I think that's like, I think that's where it really shines. It's really like my second game, it was like I got it. I understood.
Yep.
And I was like, holy crap. Like,
yeah, literally up until that last round, I was like, okay, all right. And then that last round played, I was like, I get the appeal.
Yeah.
I get this game.
And I've never really had a game that I've thought about outside of the game.
Yeah.
It's always been AOS. I want a lot of zombies. And like I
think that is so apparent because you have been hobbying like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the thing. So now to bring it back to like what I've been doing, it's like
you saw what I did there.
Thank you.
As like a podcast host,
that was really good.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That was
he did that on purpose.
Yeah,
that was so good.
Thank you, listener.
So now I'm like stoked on list building, which I've never been before.
Right.
I'm stoked on going through units and being like, okay, what would be cool to take? And now how can I translate these units through my vision about like how I want this Skaven army to go? So, I'm sure that I've told the like loose idea of what the lore is around my army before. It's a group of Skaven.
Let's rehash it, dude.
Okay.
Give it out.
A group of Skaven living in tunnels underneath this forest. And they get approached by this kind of uncanny valley looking rat, like where they're like, something's weird about this guy. But the rat's got a giant beast, like a hell pit abomination. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, you're in, guy.
Yeah, I'm not going to question that.
Cool, man. What do you want?
Yeah.
So he starts to like kind of lead this army and lead these forces. And he keeps saying like, okay, it's for your god, spill blood for your god. Go out there, like cause carnage, waste the enemy kind of thing for your god. Like I'll help you.
Sounds familiar.
And, lo and behold, he's just a demon who's been, stripped of his power. He's trapped in this kind of shell, pretending to be this rat. And so he's trying to like gather power through the carnage that's being wrought on the enemies. So
he's swelling with power as his army is inflicting bloodshed. He is slowly gaining his power back.
Totally. So like the beginning force that I had was pretty much all rats, pretty much standard rats. Yeah. And then as time goes on, you start seeing like, oh, there's like these demon rats now. And so I made this unit of bloodletters, essentially the OPR version of bloodletters.
So cool. They're so cool.
Yeah, I was messing around with like, I made a green stuff. No, blue stuff. Push mold using rat heads, and then took blood letters and then pressed the blood letters onto the wet green stuff that was inside of the blue stuff. Mm-hmm. And then, I had to like super glue them and do all that shit.
Yeah,
I did some like cotton ball dipped into hot glue along the back to make it look like real gross, like dreaded out fur.
Yep.
And painted them up all fucking weird, but now you have these like demon rats that are kind of like running, and rats or the demons have like cool rules where they get to like ambush or scout, and so it's going to be cool to kind of like play them and kind of get like advanced actions and stuff like that. Then I made a cannon, which I had made a while ago, and I brought it so I could put it in the case.
Nice. Listener Terry, for the first time in a year and a half of us having a studio, decided to start putting his models in the case.
Yeah, I've just been bringing them in boxes every day.
Looks so cool.
Yeah, I really like this.
This is so cool.
So
you even used the base that I gave you.
So this is
they're all your bases. Everything I made. I'll get into what my next project is, but it's
a freaking rat on the front.
What unit is this supposed to be?
So originally this was supposed to be the rat artillery. Sort of like their cannon. I forget what it's called in.
The warp lightning cannon?
Yeah, the warp lightning cannon. Okay, but I wanted it to be more of like a sick World War II, World War I, like howitzer kind of weird thing. And so originally it was just a cannon. It was on like some weird stilts in the front made out of popsicle sticks. And then I looked into the demon rules, and there's the cannon chariot.
This is definitely
the chariot
like
cannon,
an army man. Like howitzer.
Totally.
It's from the bits box.
Yeah. I had to cut it up to make it fit and all that shit, and like squish the wheels a little bit closer together.
The shields on the wheels really adds to it.
Slapped them on, dude. A bunch of hot glue went into this. It's like a bunch of marker caps and shit spliced up. And then instead of the popsicle sticks holding it up in the front, I was like, oh fuck, I want it to be a chariot. So I put this giant rat ogre, and he's just slung up on chains, and there's fucking chains all over him, and he's dragging this
giant cannon.
Yeah, and there's just like a guy on the back with like a flaming torch, because it's like old school, like light the fuse.
Light the fuse.
and a guy just sort of underneath, like egging him forward with his sword.
That's a Knucklebones rat.
That's a Knucklebones rat.
Are those the extras that we had left over from Neo?
I think they are.
Yeah, maybe. I just have a bunch of them kicking around, so like when it fits the sculpt, that's what I end up doing.
A lot more. Around. Don't worry.
And then for this, I have a $50 airbrush that I got. It's one of those fucking ones that he was like made a video being like, oh, you could get this USB powered airbrush, like blah blah blah. And I was like, Sarah, this would be a great Christmas gift. That was like 2 years ago, dude. This fucking piece of garbage airbrush from like China or some shit, it runs like a fucking tank, dude. It's so sick. It's so cheap and shitty, and you just hook it up, you plug it into your USB, it charges, and it works fucking
It's like the little handheld one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Someone else we knew. Is it Lucian that has that?
Maybe. I don't know.
I am so pleased with just like how this thing works. So I
It's
spray prime the whole thing. Yeah, dude, it's real unwieldy because the battery pack is this big stupid thing hanging off of the bottom. But I sprayed it really quick, just like doing the doing like, you know, lights from above, and I just like base coated it with the airbrush, and then I just started adding like little, you know, highlight details everywhere.
Like the 8-ball on the front of the
dude, I've been, and so that's my other thing too. I've been having fun just doodling on my minis lately.
I've been noticing that.
Yeah, the little dots,
the eyeballs.
Yeah.
And then those match the blood letters that you did.
Yep. So the blood letters too have like weird like eyes on their sword and stuff that are just like doodled with like micron pens and Posca markers and shit.
Would you say it's like paint, like in, like if that guy was a real guy, is that like an eyeball, or is that just like they painted on their weapons?
They just painted on. Okay. It's not like I wasn't necessarily
like
thinking what it was supposed to be. I was just like literally taking the micron pen and just drawing directly onto the mini and being like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to do these as stripes. And then I'm going to do like little Posca pink dots and shit, and just kind of kept adding doodles on it until
I think Posca pens are a real hobby hack.
100%.
Yeah,
they're fun. A lot of the highlights, like on the chains here, are just done with a white Posca marker that I just ran across.
That's
the
so
top.
sick. Also, good on you. The tension on the chains, is such a hard thing to get in hobby stuff.
The tension on the chains and using appropriate scale chains. That is my biggest pet peeve in the hobby, is when someone does
it's jewelry chain, but it's like scaled for a
brother.
person.
You have a 28 millimeter Imperial Guard scaled guy, and you're using fucking jewelry chain.
He's wrapped up with like a chain that a aircraft carrier would drop an anchor with.
Like that guy can't even hold. Dude, I get angry. Like someone shows me that. What do you think? I go, I hate it because the scale's wrong, brother.
It's the worst thing I've ever seen.
To be fair, I would have used any chain I fucking.
I know
had.
you.
So
would.
I just had like the perfect size chain, and I'm happy that it pleases you.
It looks great.
There was some way I got that tension, and now I can't remember. There was some way I got really good tension, and I was like, oh, this is a fucking great way of doing it. Can't remember. Sorry, guys. You don't get that hobby hack, but if I remember, I will. Yeah, the little 8-ball and shit. Dude, the other thing I've been doing is adding a lot of gloss Mod Podge onto things. For no reason other than to make certain areas really shiny.
Are you varnishing?
It's like funny.
Are you varnishing and then gloss Mod Podging?
No, I just do gloss at the end so far. And I did it on the horns of the bloodletters and the swords of the bloodletters and shit.
I think I said it on the pod, but that's the PMC illustration that I learned from her. She clear coats all her models with Mod Podge.
Oh, you were saying that, but she does matte Mod Podge, right?
Yes.
To like varnish in a way.
Some matte, some gloss.
I love the gloss. I just like the weird, like otherworldliness that it adds, like the shine on the axe.
Shine on the axe, yeah.
I'm adding it to pieces with no reason.
Yeah,
there's no like reason why. But I'm just like, this will be cool, shiny. Let me add this.
I think, especially with your models, and anyone that has seen this Skaven army can attest, the amount of detail and the visual distinctness, like your eyes are very busy on this, but not in a bad way.
No, there's a lot of stuff going on.
I think the gloss also is just like, it's like a real finishing touch type thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, why is the axe shiny? It does not break it away from this.
No.
Whereas like if I'm doing my like real, just like 2-color Grim oil wash thing, and then the guy's shiny, it's going to really stand out.
Totally. But and that's part of it, is I kept adding all of those doodles everywhere to the point where it's like, and this was like just me writing words on there too. I was like, I don't really care.
Pain.
I'm just going to put like weird things all over here. Yeah. And just first words that pop into my head. And then, just added the gloss, like you said, it's already kind of crazy. And then so to add gloss, it's just like, oh, why not? Why wouldn't this happen?
Absolutely.
It's so visually like, busy, like you were saying, that the gloss is, it makes it more intentional looking.
Yeah.
Then that leads me to my next thing, which I'm going to make another unit of clan rats, but that's just like more so for fun, just because I like the tunneling.
the tunnel rule.
Oh, it's so cool to just like ambush and pop up behind the enemy and just like rush in is so much fun.
Are you gonna do them like kind of like demon manifest?
I should.
Like a couple of them, maybe.
These ones are more closer to the power.
I've been having fun being as weird as possible. So what I want to do is make like this big hole in the ground where they tunneled out of, but have like a tea light in the hole, and then just have like red, just so I can turn it on while I play. There's just like red glow that's coming up, just to add that extraness to.
It's like the whole 20 you normally use.
Yeah, it's a unit 20.
So the unit of 20 is just one big hole.
Well, that would be very sick.
You do like 4 or 6 of them though, as one.
Yeah, I'll
like
probably
6 because a lot of guys die usually when you go in combat. Anyway,
I have unit fillers on my other 2 blocks of clan rats, and they're just like weird little things.
Pumpkin guy,
there's a little pumpkin, little jack o' lantern thing.
The other one that you have the mound of the guy with the shovel is so sick.
Oh, the digger.
Yeah. My other unit of tunnelers has like a guy tunneling out with like he's got like a little sword, and you only see half of his body sticking out of the hole in the ground. And so this will be the same thing. I think that like a little tea light will fit on a, a 50 by 50
100%.
square.
Yes.
And I'll just sort of mound it up. Even if it dude, I don't like this army. If it looks fucking bad,
it doesn't look bad. Stop.
But that's why I like it. It's like I'm fully embracing this idea of like looking bad or good. I don't give a shit. I'm just going to try shit out.
You could definitely hollow out one of the bases, like one of the 50 mils, and then hollow out the middle, put the tea light in there, and then glue it in, and then you can switch it on and off.
That's what I want to do. So when I'm playing, it's just this weird glowing hole of like fire, and there's all of these tunnelers that came out of the fire hole or some shit.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Do you think you'll do a board like an Armies on Parade? Not specifically for that, but
is there a reason you're saying this?
No, I really wasn't. Do you think you are going to do like a board so there's like the units that go together will look better next to each other? Like on a board type, like
I
a
didn't
display
think about
thing.
That. If I were to do a board, dude, I would make it so fucking bizarro.
I know you would, and that's why I'm like
fucking insano corn underground cave.
Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck this thing would look like because this whole army has just been like, oh, I'm going to collage with comic books. Oh, I'm going to do this. Like just trying out whatever pops into my head to make shit a little bit different. So if I were going to make a board, I don't even know where I would start. I would want it to be so extra and so weird that like it doesn't even make any sense.
That's a garage project. You go in there for 20 minutes a day. That's it,
dude.
Fucking do something.
Like the thing, like I don't even know what it would be.
Yeah, that's the only thing. It's like granted, I've only ever finished like 2 armies in my whole life, but the idea of like when you're finished with an army, it's like, okay, now you make the board for them, their little bases to slot into. So
I've never even thought of that. Yeah,
and that will drive me for like cohesion of being like, okay, this unit will probably be next to this, like display wise, but on the battlefield they'll probably never be next to each other.
That's cool.
That way you can base it that way. Because when you're saying like these guys are like red glow or whatever, I can imagine the OSL that you do on these guys. And then having them like next to demons that would also maybe have it or something. Or,
right?
I don't know.
Dude, if I were to do it, it would be real fun house vibes, I think. I think I would do it like real
that's also sick.
Carnival fun house, just like weird mirrors and shit everywhere.
Carnival of Chaos was Chaos Undivided, right? Or was
Carnival of Chaos?
I thought it was Nurgle. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I did want to say, I don't know if you were manifesting the Skaven army long ago, but when you did that Great Unclean one, it looks like
very
a
rat face.
Like
I
it
didn't even
makes
think
me.
of that.
It makes me think like your sorcerer that you've done, the demon guy, dude. The model is so cool.
Well, that was done by I want to say the Blind Man.
Oh, was that a
or
Shane
the Shaky
creation?
Hands? No, the Shaky Hands.
Shaky Hands.
Shaky Hands gave me that a while ago, and
I remember that.
Shout out because honestly, it started this whole thing. Like the story started with this weird rat covered in rags with like little tiny rats popping out of the rags, and I was like, oh, what if this isn't a rat? But instead of it's like a demon that just is like floating with just like a rat head that's trying to pretend to be a rat.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that would be a cool start to a story. And then the whole army is kind of built around this idea of like a imposter rat.
The Great Unclean One rat. That's his final form.
Yeah.
Well, the last thing I'm working on is I am working on like finally the leader transcends. He becomes the demon prince that he wants to. And shout out, it's whatever, paying the tax. He gave me a Vermin Lord model.
And so he sent that box.
Yes. So I'm putting together that model to like then chop it up. And I think I'm going to use, how Cole made, shout out Cole, another friend of the pod. Cole made those like, that guy with the long sword.
Yes.
The long metal sword. I think I want to use that sick long metal sword for this guy's like
sword.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
the
comically
big
large
sword.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
The sword fits like perfectly on the fucking Vermin Lord.
Yeah.
And it looks so tight.
That rocks.
So if I can make it work, I'm going to make it work. But I'm excited for that too. So that'll be kind of, I think, the final Demon Prince. We'll see.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I started working on it. So that's that, man. I've been grinding away.
How many points will that bring you up to?
The cool thing about there's like
Demon Prince can scale.
Exactly. There's like a 165.1. There's like a 400.1,
Yeah,
and there's
yeah.
like an 850.1. So depending on the game, I can just be like, this guy is an
That's
even
cool.
bigger ass beater.
Right,
now.
right. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It's been a lot of fun, dude. I've been really going hard, and I just haven't stopped. Just like every day, just been pushing a little bit harder.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Anyways, we're all looking at Gage. Sorry. Two people looking at you, Gage.
Oh no, I need Phil back, so it's at least a 50.
You've been working, though.
No, I've been working.
You've been doing Orkies.
I've been doing orcs. I've been having fun with it. I'm not as far as I would like, but I'm sticking true to my resolution. I'm hobbying when it feels good.
Yeah, baby.
And right now, my desk is in turmoil because I leaving the studio the other night. Not the last snowstorm, but the one prior. I kind of had to stop abruptly on the highway, and a orc smashed half my War Master army, and so that brittle resin did me in, and I just kind of plopped it on the table and went, whatever. But I've been painting orcs. I actually brought stuff to make my trays today while I ship hoodies out.
You're gonna ship hoodies while making trays?
Well,
How many arms you got?
I'm gonna do both tonight after we're done recording. Not at the same time. But to your point of the list builder kind of letting you have fun and scaling things, I still really want to do like my Dream Chaos Dwarf army. So I'm starting with the Black Orcs first, and then all the infantry I'm going to do Chaos Dwarves. But those dwarves will probably be the first test print when my new printer comes in on Saturday.
Wait, you're getting a new printer?
I did. Steve and I split a Sonic Mega 8K.
Whoa, I didn't know this.
So you can fit 80 models on one build plate.
Holy shit,
So,
dude. What
I can smash a War Master army every weekend if I want. I'll just
You
print
do a
new
lot
one.
more than a fucking War Master. You can smash them.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, the build plate is insane. So
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know
we're
that.
going to be in full production mode with that thing. But to that point, once it comes in, the Chaos Dwarves are going to be the next thing that I make for like infantry. Tyler and I played a game of OPR, and I really liked in our game, Terry, the Boar Riders. I liked how they performed.
Yeah.
So I took 2 Great Boar Rider units in the game against Tyler. And it was a very unhinged end of the night, silly game, and we were screaming, and both of us lost our voice because we were just laughing so hard.
Naturally.
And we both said we should probably do a redo because we were just way too goofy. But being able to just scale your army in either direction is fun. So I might do the Stillman method of being like, okay, here's 3,000 points kind of in any game.
Yeah.
And just, it is what it is. Because I don't want to get burnt out on it at all.
Yeah, you mean, wait, 3,000 points?
3,000 points just of like on the board, and it's like, it is what it is. So it'll
Yeah.
work in Old World. Because I am still basing everything for Old World.
Yeah. It's the same shit.
Yeah. It's mostly because all the units that I love are just, like the Black Orcs are so fucking big, dude.
Totally.
They have these like
They
stances.
look sick.
They look so sick. But even on the new size base, they still don't rank up properly.
Oh, of course.
And I'm like, these were supposed to be on smaller bases for the last 20 years.
I mean, the Bloodletters don't. I can't do two rows of them because the swords are so damn long.
They're also cool.
Yeah.
Also a very sick unit. So that's like mostly my hobby ish part. The other part, I've been like real solo RPG pilled. So I've been on a real
Hell
deep dive
yeah.
on that. I played one session, and I'm going to try and get back into it, but of Caves and Catacombs, which is a solo RPG that uses the base components of HeroQuest, the board game.
Cool.
But then adds on this whole extra level of like solo RPG dungeon delving as well. So like rolling on charts and having all the components of things that are in this board game that you can kind of just quickly put out a bunch of goblins or whatever.
And this is something that somebody else made for this game.
Yep.
Oh,
Totally.
neat.
It's like a $5 zine on itch. It's the only thing that'll come up if you Google it. Lucian and I have been playing Ironsworn. I know you and I never even talked about the session that you came and played.
Yeah.
But
we didn't. We never talked about that.
no.
That was a lot of fun. Ironsworn is a really cool game.
It is, and it's not the first game I would recommend to people. I mean, I have in the past, but it's not the first game I would recommend for solo RPGing because it's a little crunchier than probably what people want when they want to get into a journaling game. But I mean, you're an experienced role player. I'm running it. I'm a forever GM. Lucian's like one of the best players to ever have at a table. So it's like this game where you're kind of referencing the book as much as you want. And for me, and I don't, maybe not for you, but generally when Lucian and I play, we reference it a lot because that's the fun part of like the randomness of the Oracle. But like that night when you came over, so listener, we're doing this campaign where there's like this big elder beast bear that attacks this town, and we have to go go hunt it down. That's like our quest to go kill it.
I assume that was all randomly rolled.
Everything is randomly rolled, yeah. And so I'm like playing this like half elf witch doctor kind of guy who's got like blood and ash magic. And Lucian's playing this like rangery kind of guy who has like a bear companion as well. It's like a rite of passage in this like town we created where everyone gets like a bear at a certain age of whatever.
I want a bear. That's
sick. Right,
dude. And like these are just options that are like kind of presented to you in the game, and it's just like all the fun things that you have to wait 20 sessions for in D&D. It's like no, you can get it day one. But
the things you never get to because
because you don't play enough. So we're like tracking this thing down, and it like we kind of fight it one time, and we fight a bunch of like wisps another time, and we're doing all these things, and then we finally get this big battle going, and then this bear bites my arm off, and my character has this like detrimental like he's forever wounded type thing, and Ironsworn tells you to do whenever you're looking at the chart, it says pick the worst option because that's what's going to create more story. So like we ended and it was like, okay, my guy lost his arm. How are we going to figure that out? And then Terry was like, I'm free tonight. Let me pop in. And it was like a 5-minute, I asked you 2 questions?
Yeah.
And you even went even more chaos mode. You're like, I'm not even going to answer the questions. I'm going to lay these cards out and just...
Oh yeah, I did
you like
chaos
threw dice
orb
or something? Yeah, and it like landed on the cards and you're like, cool, my character's this with this and this.
Yeah.
It was like
it was perfect.
Yeah, and then it was like, we kind of just dove into, all right, well, how did Terry get here? And he's like tracking our characters. He's being like a younger guy trying to help out. And then
it was a tag along guy. I was like, come on, I want to go hang out and be on the cool adventure.
Kind of like a Squire type story.
Yeah,
kind of like our intern.
Kind of like our intern.
Yes, I was very intern guy.
And then gets along, and then like we kind of just roll on a bunch of things, and then the beauty, like I said, is when it felt right to roll, we did. But when it didn't, it's like we're just obviously playing pretend anyway. It doesn't really matter.
You're just writing in your little journal.
Yeah. And originally, Lucian and I started it because it was a way to clear my backlog of games. But B, we were going to maybe make like a blog out of it, but wasn't really sure if like the interest was there for people to read crap like that. But it's also like, it's like, well, we always talk about blogs. Who cares? Just put it out there. So,
Totally.
Well, I think we get like one more session down. I'll just start putting it out.
Yeah.
And then,
it's just a way for you to record keep.
yeah, I'll always be like one ahead of what is posted.
Well, it's also cool though. Like I love finding old blogs about some random niche thing, and they're just going in on it, and then you are slowly discovering this weird thing through their blog post.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to that point, I'm trying to just, once again, I have way too many RPGs, so trying to get through that. Shane the Blind Man and Big Boy Game Time Steven and I did a Quiet Year session where we created this world that is just batshit insano, as all Quiet Year games go.
Yeah, the Quiet Year is a world.
It's a world building game where you actually create a community out of 1 year of like decisions for this community. We have like arcane mud with like fly people and like just insano shit. As anyone that knows those two individuals, it will get to that point. But once again, okay, we've got a bunch of games scheduled now of different systems to now play in that world.
Oh, cool.
So it's another way of just churning through the backlog of games we haven't played or whatever. But we also have this like continuing canon of like games. So real game pilled.
That's
Real
cool.
Gamer mode.
And Steve's working Total Con this weekend, and I'm assisting, and I'm hoping to add to more of that backlog.
Dude, I think you have to sign up for the games.
No, I just want to buy shit.
Oh,
You don't need to buy more shit.
Dude,
no,
I need to buy
your
more shit.
collection is so insanely impressive that like you just keep buying stuff. That's cool.
You know,
I was going to ask you, and this is probably cool on the pod to ask, because I like playing Ironsworn, and then you had told me about Starforged, which is the sci-fi version.
that's so cool.
with a better layout.
Better layout. However, you are right that like the rules, there's
a lot.
There's a lot, and I was like, oh, I can't even print off this book at school. Like it's a lot.
How many
of pages.
pages is it?
I think it's
300 plus.
Yeah.
I will say.
I was like, oh, I didn't expect that.
It is.
I have a book you can borrow, Terry. That's way less.
Well, I was going to ask, like, is there a sci-fi solo RPG that's similar but less rules? Not to put you on the spot.
I got that Orbital Station one that I bought at Rye Guy's shop.
Orbital is good. It's
more about the space station.
It's about the
you're
station
on.
itself. Yeah,
But that's fine, actually. That's more what I'm even interested in.
It also
is
looks
that.
very cool.
It is very cool. It's like it's more of a zine than anything.
Cool.
I
That I
will
like.
say though, with Ironsworn systems in general, specifically the session 0 of like world building, making your character, is the heaviest part.
Yeah.
Once you're in, it's like when you came over for Ironsworn. It's like 3 minutes and we were up and playing.
And then that's when you're kind of using the quick start guide. That's when, or the quick reference guide.
Yeah. And to the point of the game, like I said, it is heavier than, it's not the first game I would recommend for a lot of people, but it's like once you get there, okay, now you can have a 10-hour game session. Like there's times where I'm on the road and I'm just stuck in the middle of fucking nowhere, Maine, and I'm just playing all night because I have no service and my Steam Deck died. And it's like I can't sleep, so I'm just going to keep rolling D10s. Or there's times where it's like, okay, I'm going to just play 5 minutes and see. I'm can't wait to get off this job because I'm thinking about this one thing that I left as a cliffhanger in this game, and I got to just figure it out and just do this one thing. Cool, I'll come back to this later.
Yeah.
Now, because Traveler has a lot of randomly generated.
Oh, yeah.
The whole, you're making your guy, you make the planet that you're from, your job, how you got to like 36 years of existing. Like, is there a solo play Traveler thing? There's gotta be.
There is. And Brian and I were actually talking about this yesterday morning. I texted him because I know he's a teacher. So
he's up.
I'm like, these guys are up. I can punish these people early in the morning. I believe it's Starlink. That's
a cool name.
I might be wrong, but it's like a crossover
with Elon Musk.
No, it's not that. I think it's a crossover between playing Starforged with Traveler supplements.
Oh, that's cool.
Or maybe it's the Starforged expanded edition, and I'm once again gaslighting everyone. But what you were talking about is getting to the point where in our Traveler campaign that he's running, he wants to play as a player as well, and it's GM-less.
Dimitri.
So Dimitri will join, and then I can't.
The greatest character.
I can't be as mean to Dimitri when it's Sweet Brian playing him.
You're not mean to him.
Russell motherfucker Tucker does not like Dimitri, but Gage likes Brian.
I'll kill Russell motherfucker Tucker for Dimitri.
Yeah, exactly. So we have to figure that part out. But to that point, I think those games could go easily hand in hand.
That's awesome.
It's just like I said, doing the quote unquote hard work of session 0 for Starforged to get the world up and running. So there's like, it's not like there's boundaries, but it's like, okay, let's set the limits for where technology is in your head.
Yeah.
Are we thinking Star Wars or is it Terminator? Like two vastly different things that if they cross paths could totally yuck someone's yum.
Yeah. Okay, I might just have to like give it another shot and just kind of like actually print it off at the work.
I mean, knowing
printer.
knowing you as a person, I think that session 0 might take a couple tries to get through, but it is laid out in a way where you can start and stop because you'll be halfway through and it goes, okay, well, what do you think about religion in this universe? You could roll that one and then stop right there. Next time you play, just go to the very next question of like the world building.
And that's what I'll probably do. Yeah, I'll chunk it out, even if it takes me forever to build the world. It's more that's more what I'm almost interested in with Starforged anyways, is
Right.
how do I create this space for me to like fool around it.
Yeah. So there's, and then like kind of the last part of what I've been working on, quote unquote, is the War Master campaign. I don't want it. I don't want it to fall by the wayside, but I want it to be more of a lived-in world experience for this game. So where Paul and I and Tyler, we all kind of made the little map originally. And
okay.
When a player joins, you just pick a couple hexes. That pre-established map can be world built using some of the supplements that I got. Like there's a D100, I think it's called D100 Dungeon, the world building book is the full title, which is awful, but it's one of those books that it's like, if you're not already like really in the shit as a gamer, it's like so off-putting because it's just like charts on charts on charts. But it'll really create that narrative of like, okay, let's all Sun Tzu this, and I'm going to cut off the supply chain for Tyler's Empire army or Undead army in War Master, and then it'll really bring out those rules of what is fun in a campaign game.
This is for like Mighty Empires kind of thing?
Yeah.
Are you saying to figure out what's fun for the campaign?
Yeah, but I don't want it to just be, okay, let's play Mighty Empires with role play.
Yeah.
I want it to be like, what is actually fun in between gaming sessions? Like,
Yes.
Are we rolling on weather? Is weather fun?
No.
Yeah, and then this is like kind of like what...
I mean, actually, I don't know. I take that back.
Yeah, finding out whether it is.
that's
or
a
not.
Well, because weather in like
weather.
OPR regiments has weather rules for the different. There's like a D12 table of what weather is affecting your battlefield, and there's rules for each one.
Kind of cool.
Kind of cool,
Right. Yeah.
Which could lead into other things like crops
exactly.
being destroyed or whatever.
And then your supply roll is lower or stuff like that. It's
so
like,
is that what Mighty Empires is? I have zero concept of what Mighty Empires even is.
There's a lot of that, yeah.
it's like playing Civilization.
You generate gold every round, and then you spend the gold on either units or like different buffs for your army, etc.
Okay,
So
alright.
there's stuff to it, but
I got to finish my Dark Elves.
20, yeah, I have to print
to finish
Chaos
my
Force.
elves too.
The one of the resolutions from last year was still like publish a book, and I really wanted to make like a campaign guide because of the last war. So, like I said, I'm trying to have fun with the hobby of doing what is interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
And all these little things are just like, they will all be a culmination of the same thing for me. But right now it's like, okay, well, I'm having more fun doing roleplay shit, so I'm going to do that. But while I'm doing it, it'll be research. Not really. I'm just gaming.
No. But it feeds
for my other campaigns.
Yes.
So.
What things do you think you could add to it, or what things exist in both settings?
Yeah, yeah.
This is bringing. I have so many things that have come into my mind that I'm going to forget all of them.
Well, that's why this is recorded.
I know, but I've already forgot. I've already forgot the other things I was going to bring up. But you just made me think. Now, because I'm running the OPR campaign, which has fallen behind right now because
You're busy. You're busy.
I've been really busy, but like I've been thinking a lot about like a studio campaign where it's not really like any system. It's fantasy and it's set in a certain world. Yeah. Like, the Border Princes, those exist there.
Right.
But like maybe the Mighty Empire stuff also exists somewhere else. And it's like
what
all
I'm
this
saying,
stuff is
dude.
just happening and we have a big old map.
Yes.
Right. And it might just be fun to have, because like, you played War Master, that affects the map. You played OPR Skirmish, that affects the map.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I mean,
and then have like a book log of like, I played this game, this happened here, and here's the little story that happened, and then just having like a cool log of everything that happens, and then
all the lore builds itself.
Exactly.
Because then even like,
and then Phil's map's on the board, like everything, it's all there.
Because then you play Necropolis, and it's like Necropolis might only exist in a small little area in
Necropolis
this world,
is a place there.
Yeah.
Right.
But then maybe your army has some tie to Tyler's undead army that's battling in this other game. And it's like, actually, these two stories are combined. It's just different game systems.
It's different game systems. And like, even you saying Necropolis, like bringing that into it, it's like, Necropolis is on the map and it's some big plot point for the map. Like, that's the city of the dead. And that like affects the whole map. And like,
totally.
It doesn't have to be rules. It's just like it's a lived-in world that we're all actively playing in.
We got to bug War Boss Kurgan again, Saul.
Yeah,
I was talking to him, but Sam was telling me that he is just a repository of just like the global campaigns side of things and his global campaign, along with others that work on the project, but he's the only person I know by name. They have so many resources for that to work.
Yeah.
We just are a message away from tapping into that. I think it would be so good, especially for like our very active circle.
Yes.
Well, it's like, dude, since we're already deep into this campaign, this Regiments campaign, and we're now talking about, potentially doing a War Master thing in the future, it's like, why not just combine all of those things?
Right.
Like, both of those things can exist in the world.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, is that like War Master is existing. It's all happening in the same world. It's like, what the hell?
I just almost killed Terry with a Coke.
It's okay. I dodged it, dude.
And I don't know if you get anything out of it. Like when I update the map and the lands kind of change, like the colors.
Dude, I've been
shift
checking
on the map.
every fucking day, bro, to see if it's updated. I have been checking every day.
I'm sorry.
Like,
I'm sorry.
no,
I'll do it
I know
tomorrow.
that you're busy. That's why I'm not going to be like, Steve, we're going to update the map. But I love looking at it and being like, oh, I got one. Or, I stayed the same. And look at this guy. Look at Ian.
Roaching.
Look at MAGA Ian just stretching across the board with his killer freaking force.
With my game against you and against Tyler, when like in a Civ game, there's like the barbarians.
Yeah.
They're on the tiles. That's what I've been being referred to as.
I'm just going to put the orc get me a little
Out of
banner. Make me a
nowhere.
little banner with
All
like
right,
an
I got
axe
you.
on it. I'll
Who's
just put it in
that?
the middle.
It's just like,
It's just like the unit, because like I never officially joined the campaign.
Yeah.
I'm just playing when people need games, and I'm like painting my army at my own pace. But it's still very funny to be like, these guys actually don't care about anything. They're just like getting beat up or beating people up like in these little territories.
Well, it's funny that
I'm counting the game with Paul.
Yeah.
I'm fucking counting that. Are you
Totally.
kidding me?
Yeah.
He's hiding in his mountain.
Yeah.
it's funny that it's the orcs and the beastmen too. Phil played regiments too, and it's just like if anybody was going to be the like little marauders, the just like NPC guys flying, it's beastmen and orcs.
Beastmen and orcs.
Did
yeah.
Phil like it?
Phil loved it.
Love to hear it. I knew he would like it.
Yeah.
I knew he would like it once he played it.
Well, the game I played against Tyler, he stood next to me the whole time, being like, "You want a piece of advice?" I kept having to be like, "No, Phil, play your own game."
Terry, you want to know something? For my game against Tyler, he did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the reference sheet, and he's, before I'm even looking down, he goes, "Oh, Black Orcs, they're going to hit on threes, and they're going to do this." And I'm just like, "Why do you know this?" He's just like, "I don't know. I'm built that way."
Yeah, he really is. And I love just like seeing the gears in Phil's head, him putting his phone down and being like, "Oh, I'm engaged over here now."
Yeah.
It's
You know when the
amazing.
phone goes away.
Yeah.
He's not on reels.
When
It's
you stop hearing the doom scrolling,
Yes.
of like random
He's in.
Yeah.
Asian schoolgirls fighting people on the street, or like bum fights or whatever else he watches.
It's cool.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know. But I think all of those things could. I think that OPR regiments, this campaign could just be a jumping off point into what you're talking about, rather than inventing the wheel.
Border Princes exists on the map, and when it concludes, it's just a spot on the map, and
Yep.
that's it.
Yeah,
Totally.
It's the zoom out effect we talk about, but it doesn't have to be like the scale change. It could be the zoom out effect of the map.
Yeah.
Where it's like all this territory fight. Yeah, this was actually only like a state in the country.
Yes.
And then you zoom out to the country level, and then it's like, okay, let's go to the continent.
Do we get
a
a custom map made?
we get a custom globe?
Dude, that's what I'm talking about.
That'd be cool, but it's a beach ball and we just hang it from the
Yeah.
ceiling.
Yes.
And we could just
Put little
spin it
pins
whenever
on
we
it.
want.
Well, if we put a pin in the beach ball.
Well, little stickers or something. It's cute.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I'm just gonna go get one of those old, like, like the big standing globes, like the school globes. I'm gonna get one of those and paint over it and draw a new map.
Dude,
on it.
I have been looking
a good idea.
for one
It
of
is a good
those,
idea.
like the topographical ones,
yeah,
since like the beginning of my D&D campaign.
I'm looking right now.
I have
like-
one. It's not big though.
But does it have like 3D mountains and stuff?
Oh, you want like?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I have that. I'll bring it next time. It's
Well,
a little
I-
janky, but if you can use it, you can use
We'll
it.
just paint it and
You're
then
4 years
make
too
a
late
new
for
one.
my campaign.
Oh,
but-
sorry.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna use
It's
it for our campaign.
There you go.
Sorry.
I'm looking it up now.
There you go.
World map.
We're live, Amazon.com.
Googling,
right
No,
now.
it's on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there we
Steve
go.
Wow.
Oh, found one. $20. This one's sick. Oh, $400 for a vintage gemstone world globe.
No,
I'm out.
No,
Oh.
but I do see
$5. $5
That's
globe
for
of Earth.
my speed, baby.
200 or 5?
Pretty good. It's classic.
That's what I have. You need that?
Yeah.
I'll bring it in for you.
All right.
It's a little janky, but I think we could fix it.
I'll even throw some green stuff on it, make little mountains and
There you go.
texturize it. We'll make it nice.
We'll make it nice.
I wasn't in my hobby era when I needed one, so I should have thought of that.
There you go.
Steve, before you tell us what you've been working on, do you want another Coke Zero?
No.
Okay.
Do you want one?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get one. I'm gonna get one while you do it, or Steve's gonna go get it.
Oh no! You're gonna look at how janked up this can is,
dude.
You grabbed those janked up little orange cream Coca-Cola Zero.
The one Terry dropped. That's a live grenade in front of us.
Listener, listener, this Gage got a bunch of orange cream flavored Coke Zeros. Ooh, nice. And they're not very good.
No, if it was 1,000 degrees outside in the summer, and I was like by a river or something, this would be nice.
That's going to be this summer, dude. By a river. You just got to keep them around until then. Can I get a slurp on that Coke Zero?
This one?
No.
Yeah, give him that
one.
Are you sick?
No, I
Didn't
don't
you
think
just say
so.
you have the suds?
No, I don't have this. Now, you know what? Never mind, dude.
I'll get you a cup, dude.
No, I don't even want it.
No,
I don't even
I'll
want
get you
it.
a
No,
cup.
I don't even
I'll
want
get
it,
you a
dude.
cup, dude.
No, I don't even want it, dude. You know what?
Steve, what have you been
Actually,
working on?
Get a little cup. One of those little tiny bathroom cups out there. What have you been working on, Steven?
What have I been working on?
You got a printer.
I know. I bought a bamboo.
That's like
P1S.
P1S, dude.
It's fresh.
Oh, dude.
I'm really mad because so it has the app. It has the camera where I can watch the prints going.
Insane.
So I started a print before I left, and I'm messing with the scale because I'm printing out. I found some STLs that were really awesome, like slightly futuristic, modernized skyscrapers. And I got them for Flames for 6mm. And like I've been messing with the sizes because I tried printing them as is, and they were huge. They were way too big, so I had to keep scaling them down, trying to find that right size.
Yeah.
And I finally found the right size after printing a bunch of them, and I set it up when I was leaving. And I was like, "Yeah, there's definitely plenty of filament in there."
Oh no!
I set up like 4 buildings to get printed, and it was like, 5 hours, which is 5 hours to print the buildings at the scale is crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy how fast it is. And I thought it was good, and then I got a notification on my phone that the filament ran out, and I'm instantly regretting not paying the extra $150 for the combo where it has multiple feeds of filament that just like can keep going.
Oh, so if one runs out, it's like a car with 2 gas tanks in it.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
But it's my fault. I was using like the test filament that came with the the printer. But the printer's awesome. I also did a test print of randomly on the Bamboo app. It gives you like, here's some items that you might like to try printing, and you just click on it, it downloads it and starts printing it to your printer.
Yeah.
One of the first pages, like,
once again, the reason Bamboo is so popular, they have probably the same like machined components as most printers. Accessibility. It's the fucking best.
It's truly a setup and print. I had to do nothing. I pulled it out of a box, plugged it in, did the, there's a little pamphlet of like how to take the foam out and make sure your printer works. And like, it took me 8 minutes.
So sick.
And the first thing I printed was the Space Hulk dead Terminator in a chair, because that was on the front page of the Bamboo Labs.
You just be like, yep, got it.
It printed perfect. Like, it printed a 28mm model with no mold lines.
Or like little feed lines or whatever the fuck you call it.
Yeah, it's
layer lines.
Yeah. It's nearly a perfect model.
That's the coolest thing. Like, if I were going to get into 3D printing, I would get a Bamboo.
And it's a filament printer. It's not a resin printer.
And you can head to bamboo.com and enter code
Listen,
Heimstar.
No. I had to pay for this thing. I paid for this.
I'm just fucking around. Don't do that. Pay full price.
Well, it is on sale right now for $650.
Don't pay full price. Don't be an idiot.
But yes, it's very cool. Very excited about it. I bought like 4 spools of filament.
Yeah.
And with all of that, a project I'm going to be working on is for Adepticon. I'm going to build a either 2x2 or 3x3 like modular destroyed city landscape for Flames to like demo the game at Adepticon.
To go along with the final game.
The final game, Flames of Orion. Yeah, and to that point, I've been working on Flames a lot lately. I finally like picked up some steam. I got some more art. I got the cover.
A lot of
on.
steam.
I know. I reworked the book a lot, and then I was feeling very overwhelmed. So I finally asked for help, and I reached out to our good friend Dave Hoskins and shout out Dave Hoskins, shout out EF, and I said, Dave, need some help. I need some art direction because I know this book could be better.
Yeah.
And he answered you instantly and said, yes, I can help you.
Yes.
As Dave does.
So he took a look at it, made a bunch of notes, and I said, okay, how about instead of doing notes, can you just do it? Can you just do I'll send you can we just have you do it, or you hand it off to someone else and I'll pay them? Like,
yeah.
So I have to have someone edit all the, the verbiage and all that stuff, and then kind of glance over the rules to make sure everything's consistent, and then it's done. Then it's done. Dave will do the art direction stuff and like relay it out, and then it's done.
Gage had mentioned that you're going to Total Con. Is that what it's called?
Yes, on Thursday I go.
And that's a smaller con in Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's in Marlborough. So when people hear this, I will be there. It's on Sunday. So if you hear this, you can come and see.
Yeah, hopefully you came and say hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll be at that on Thursday to Sunday.
You're going to have copies, though, right there?
I ordered like copies of the book as is right now.
Yeah.
So it's not perfect.
But it's pretty much there.
All the rules are fundamentally there.
Yeah.
There's probably some mistakes. There's probably some like, oh, this cross-reference doesn't really make sense with this. But like the game plays, and it's how everyone's been playing it. Actually, more so because this version isn't what's online for free.
Yes. And the art is insane.
It's crazy.
You sent me it was just like a Google Drive link to like look it over, and I was like, holy shit, dude, this is not just like a zine game. This is beautiful.
Thank you.
It's also one of those games where it's like, it's like one of it's really a look into the creator. It's not like an Osprey book, right? I don't know who the fuck any of those people are because I'm looking at an Osprey book.
Mr. Osprey.
Yeah, exactly.
John Osprey.
But looking at Flames, it is such like I know the direction of this game. It is such like a testament to how much work you have of like sculpting this vision, and I think it's going to be.
So I should order more than 30 copies
for this con. I think that's fine.
I meant in general.
I think for Adepticon, I think half the trailer we're bringing has to be filled with them. I think it's going to be a fucking knockout.
Once people see this and they see the art and they see how freaking sharp the cover looks.
I was going to say, have you shared the cover yet? Like final?
Oh man!
Don't wait until Adepticon.
That's why
dude. The cover is fucked up. It is.
I wanted to make the cover a banner. As like the backdrop to the booth.
Yes.
I think it should be a shirt, a banner. It should be everything.
All right, I'm going to show you the shirt that I made today that I'm definitely not going to be able to make because I'm going to get a cease and desist order.
That's cooler. That's way cooler.
Well, I don't know if it's. Hold on. Let me find it.
Oh, but listeners, like this is, it's like one of those moments where you're like, yeah, my friend rocks, and then like, Steve goes and does something that's just like, oh, this is like so pro. Like this is so freaking slick looking. Let's see.
And then I did the back.
No, that's cool. You got to do that shirt.
Well, I can't do. I don't think I can do that.
Why not?
I think I'll get a cease and desist from closed casket activities.
No, that's fine. Who gives a
Listener,
shit?
you could probably put it together. You Google closed casket.
Oh yeah, I should.
I don't think closed casket's suing anybody.
I don't think they give a fuck about
it. They don't give
true.
a shit.
Real ones would know though.
Real ones would know.
I should probably do the Flames of Orion star logo from the front of the book, but
listen,
I love a bootleg.
It's a very beautiful thing.
You can cut all of this. I was just showing you.
No, but you should be proud, Steve. Like it's a very cool thing that you've done.
I think it is absolutely going to really bring everything that we do to the next level. Of really like every little thing that we've done has kind of opened people's eyes up a little bit more. Like okay, Nemo, like Mordheim Open brought people's attention to Under the Dice Fest. Us adding music to it really brought people's attention to like our vibe. I think Flames is you're going to get so many more people in now. This is a huge funnel to get people to that next level of realizing this crew is on top.
This is the real deal.
Yeah, 100%.
And at the same time, like you're a special dude, but like people can do this. Like you did this. You put this whole thing together, and it is better than anything Osprey's ever freaking dreamed of putting out. Except for Gaslands, right?
Except for
Gaslands. Hopefully soon by a new publisher.
Well, let's say Mike Hutchins.
Yeah.
He's the real deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mike Hutchinson.
But yeah, that said, I'm hoping, fingers are crossed. My little fingers are crossed. And if Dave listens to this, I implore you, Dave, please do this as fast as humanly possible, because I would love to have the real copies out for Adepticon, because otherwise I will be really sad.
You will. It will. It will. It has to. It's gotta.
I'm just gonna bug him every day.
Yeah.
I think that's what I have to do.
Be nice though. Say please and thank you.
Of course. I'm just gonna send him a message saying I'm going to bug you about this every day until it's done.
And I also love you.
And I also love you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just really cool. I can't wait.
And Dave, like, going over it with me gave me so many cool little ideas, because like music, I like incorporating music into everything that we do to help, like, with the vibe. Like, listen to this if you like this.
Totally.
And like, he's like, oh, for every time you reference music, you should put like you should draw, or like get someone to draw like a little CD logo that like goes across all of the reference points. And it's like little things like that I don't think of, that Dave's like, this adds a special touch to all these little things, and it would really add to the game.
And it's something that nobody really does.
Yes. But this leads to my next thing that I've been doing. That's all been said. Flames is almost there.
Yeah.
You'll be able to get it, hopefully, at Adepticon. You'll definitely be able to get it this weekend, although it's kind of a janky copy. There's a soundtrack coming. There's mechs coming. Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And the fucking guy that made the battle reports, did you look at that?
No. I saw you linked him.
A guy on YouTube that I didn't know about 4 months ago made a look at this game that I found. It's my new obsession. And then made multiple video battle reports of him playing.
No
the
shit.
Game.
And shout out Triceratopping MTG on YouTube.
What a name. That rocks.
I know. Some guy joined the server. Was like, oh, I was directed here by this guy on YouTube.
No shit.
And I was like, what are you talking about?
He does like full battle reports.
That's so cool.
It's crazy. And he's written like supplement material. So like for a long time I was like,
no shit.
I was toying around with ideas of like small, medium, heavy frames to differentiate, like, oh, you could take like different size mechs and they have different stats, but then I didn't want to like bog the game down and add too much shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'll do a supplement later. This dude did a supplement.
That's so cool. Heavy mech, light mech. That's so cool.
Yeah. Which I'm going
What
to
a
talk
god.
to him, because
Yeah.
I would love to, like, I haven't looked at his rules yet. I'm sure they're cool, because he gets it. From his video, I was like, this guy understands the game completely, which is all I'm looking for when people play the game. Which a lot of people, they have a different vision of what the game is than I do, and that's okay, because it's not mine once I hand it out to them.
Exactly, yeah.
But he gets it. And I would love to work with this guy and like check out what he's doing and like just talk to him, because I haven't talked to him yet.
What a lot of RPG things will do is when the main release comes out, the supplement one that because they're getting the release kind of like you're doing, they're getting a janky copy ahead of time or whatever. If they have someone like that, they'll plan a release at the same time. So when Flames goes live, also this guy's game will go live like the day of or the day after. So that way you guys can sync up the release of whatever. So that way it's like, yeah, he's strengthening your release, but you're also strengthening his.
Yeah.
So driving him to an itch.io or customers to an itch.io or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll go check out Triceratopping MTG.
Yeah.
And now I lost where I was, but I was talking about where was I? We were talking about
You're doing this, you're doing that.
I'm not going to eat that yet. Is it warmed up?
Roll. It's not warmed up.
We're going to warm up
I want
later.
it warmed up.
Shout out friend of the pod, Lee.
Friend of the pod, Lee, made
Old
us
man
cinnamon
Lee.
rolls that Gage can eat.
They're delicious. I've had 3 Lee before recording.
Yeah, he looks crazy right now.
He does look crazy.
But he always looks crazy. So you were saying you did this, you were saying you did that. There was something else that you were like, I did this too. But then you got really excited about YouTube and YouTube videos.
Yeah, because I wanted to give that guy a shout out, because that is crazy. It's so cool. Oh, this is the other thing. I've been doing. So I've been reading a lot of an RPG game. So Guy emails me from an email called Goblin Archives. Mm-hmm. He's an RPG great name. Great name. He's an RPG creator, and he works with a couple other people. I can't remember their names, but I remembered Goblin Archives. Very nice. He said, hey, I wrote this game. I want you to check it out. It's coming out soon. Sends me all the books. He just sends me the physical books.
Sick.
And it's called Liminal Horror.
Sick.
All right. I'm already in there.
It's like X-Files meets Twin Peaks meets like SCP Foundation.
Oh, dude, I
like,
love this shit, man. That sounds beautiful.
Dude, it's a simple like World of Darkness-esque game, and it's very cool. Like you're not the cops, you're not the FBI.
Cover's
you're
fucking
just
crazy.
dude. The cover is fucking sick.
Whoa! Oh, you had sent this the other day that you were
Yes.
like you wanted to play it. Did
Yes.
you get a chance to play it?
I haven't gotten to play it yet, but I want to run it. And so he sent me all the stuff though, not just the core book. He sent me all of the like the modules you can do, and all the modules are packed with stuff. There's like a short one about like a hotel that has like all this. I don't want to say anything because like I don't want to spoil it. Like a hotel with a bunch of weird stuff going on. One that's like the bureau, like the FBI bureau, where there's like weird shit in this building.
Oh,
and there's
that's
like something
so
going on.
cool, man.
There's like a haunted mall type thing, and then there's another one. And I lost my mind when I read it. It's called The Bloom, and it's about like a mushroom underground that's like starting to affect.
What if Twin Peaks had a The Last of Us arc?
Dude,
Yes.
that sounds freaking cool.
And so the craziest thing is these guys are from the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
And when I was in the Pacific Northwest on my last full road trip, I was writing my own RPG thing for literally this idea. Like a town with like a mushroom monster that's like infecting all the people and a bunch of crazy stuff is going on. And then I get this book in the mail and it's literally the thing I was thinking about writing.
Holy shit.
And I'm like, that's so fucking sick, and it makes sense because that's the whole vibe of the Pacific Northwest in my head.
I was going to say, yeah. Everything's rotting there.
Yeah, but I got so excited to run it, and I've just been reading the book a lot, looking over the rules, and some of the rules are a little janky, like how like your control, it's like one of your stats gets like you take damage and you take damage to your health, and then it goes to your. It's very Traveler-esque. Like your health takes damage, and then your stats take damage. And it's very loosey goosey, but it's so cool, and I love it because you can just drop that into anything. You drop that into any normal place and make it weird.
Yeah.
And I think that's so cool.
Let's play this weekend.
Okay. We could play it at the con.
Saturday?
Force Brian to play.
Wait, Collapse Skull Saturday. Are you going to that?
I don't know. I didn't know anything about that.
All right, never mind.
Come on, break it down, dude. You can't just tell me about this show. Collapse Skull.
Chained to the Bottom of the Ocean. I don't know if you know that band.
Oh, is this in Providence?
Yes. And then Collapse Skull is playing. Collapse Skull is Dylan from Full of Hell and the guitarist from Full of Hell.
Nice.
I think it's a two-piece.
I'm
lying?
Who does Isolation Man? Is that the guy from Full of Hell?
That's Dylan from Full of Hell.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Anyways, so is that all you've been working on, Steve?
Yes, because I stopped both of the projects I was working on. I was working on those Chaos.
You're doing a Chaos Army.
I was doing a Chaos Army. I built a bunch of the stuff, and I got really frozen on because it's all Old Hammer stuff, and I really wanted to paint like Old Hammer stuff, and also like kind of do a little like my own thing with it. And then I see other people doing Chaos stuff that I'm like, I want to do weird kit bashes and freak shit. And then I got overwhelmed with which to do, and I just put it all in a box. And I said, I'll do that another time. And I picked up a bunch of orcs, and now they're sitting in a box on my desk to paint some orcs.
Well, the other thing you've been working on, Steve, is you've redid your hobby room, but I think it'd be really cool if we save that till next time. It'd be kind of fun.
I think that could be a whole episode.
I think it'd be like really cool to talk about each of our hobby spaces and all of the updates with the studio, because now that we've been kind of putting a lot of work in here at the studio, it'd be fun to talk about all that.
You know what? Saying that, and if the listeners want to chime in about their hobby spaces and like things that they have in their hobby spaces that they think work really well, or things that they don't like about their hobby space, if you guys shoot us a message or an email or whatever, would love to hear it, and then we can reflect on it and talk about it on the next episode.
That'd be really cool. I would actually love to know things about their hobby space and what they would want to hear about.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm actually really excited about one specific thing, and it actually ties into my bamboo, and I'm like 3D printing useful things for my hobby space.
Oh, dude, somebody had posted on the Discord, I think it was Dylan, he has like 3D printed handles.
Dude, with like
rubber bands or whatever.
Yes.
Maybe, dude, I'm like, wow, dude, that's so sick. It would be such a step up from using blue tack on top of
he does
spice
do that.
bottles.
He does. So he does. I think it was Dylan. He has like a tray of like 20 inserts.
Yeah.
And he has a rod with blue tack on top with the model, and like they all sit in this thing. So when I'm going to work on this guy, picks it up, paints it, puts it back, picks up the next one, does it, puts it back. And they just sit in this like rack system.
I think I've seen that. Or I think I've seen
I don't know if
him
it was
post
Ian
picture.
or if it was Dylan.
in any case, people have such cool things. And blue tack, we'll talk about it next time, but my studio space is in my garage and it's cold out, and the blue tack is really hard to like work with when it gets cold because nothing wants to stick to it. Gage, what are you doing over there?
I'm looking for questions.
Wait a second. You're looking...
He's looking for something. What's he looking for?
Try it.
This is questions from the Hive. That was cool.
That was great.
That was great.
A couple questions to round us off here, Gagey Poo. What you got? What's the community talking about?
Well, so we're pulling up questions from the past.
Questions from the past. What's your favorite hot dog?
I actually do have that answer.
Oh,
what's your favorite hot dog? Question from Stone.jaw. What's your favorite hot dog?
It's a great question. I like bratwurst. I like a good bratwurst. I mean, how can you beat a bratwurst?
I'm pulling up the picture of
What's
dude.
What's a bratwurst?
It's like just a thicker hot dog.
Please tell my infantile vegan mind what a bratwurst is.
I don't know how to describe it. It's like kind of sausagey, but it's hot doggy.
Well, here's why he's wrong. Because Nathan's hot dogs are the best.
Dun, 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 dun. I mean, you could eat them really fast.
You probably could.
You definitely.
We should definitely do a hot dog eating contest at
Nathan
Under the
sponsors
Dice.
Yeah, Joey Chestnuts eats them really quick or whatever.
Are Nathan's the sponsor?
To Steve's point, though, Nathan's hot dogs are the best.
And that's coming from a vegan.
I haven't had a hot dog in 14 years, and I can still distinctly remember a Nathan's hot dog.
We got to bring the grill inside,
Dude.
We got a
Under
grill
the Dice
and a
Fest,
fan.
we're going to have the hot dog eating contest of the world.
Dude, Grimdark hot dog eating contest would be so sick.
Oh my god!
Just eating it with Nolan oil pulled on top.
Something else that should get chimed in while Gage finalizes picking a question.
Yeah.
You can now go to underthedice.com and see the rules for the Rusted Demon contest.
Dude, very
at Under
true.
the Dice Fest.
Yes.
It's all laid out, plain English for you.
If anyone has any questions, you're wrong because it could not be any simpler.
It's honestly perfect, and if you don't understand it, that's not my fault.
Maybe
and it's
too-
your fault.
It's too open-ended and they get scared.
Well, then show up with a model, and if it's not painted, I will smash it on the floor with a hammer.
Oh, freedom scares me.
All right, we're digging in the bucket here. So we have a question from Ave Plastica. Do you prefer high-end fancy brushes or cheaper brushes that you can abuse?
The cheapo brushes are the only brushes I use, and they're the $5 10-pack from Michael's Hobbies.
I wonder what Gage is going to choose.
I've never used a brush that's more expensive than 5 cents.
Dude.
Yeah.
I've literally never used a brush with a tip, and I can tell you that when I occasionally will get one with a tip here at the studio, I'm like, whoa.
I'm a good painter.
I'm actually a good painter. This is fun.
I use Winsor Newton Series 7.
Yeah.
I use dice brushes. I love dice brushes.
You got me a size 6.
Oh, and dude, shout out to the boy Sam Lenz for this. I don't know how I found out about this, but the Saks, like school grade Saks, their green handle paintbrush
Sax, like S-A-X?
Yeah, like a saxophone.
Yep.
S-A-X. Yeah, you got it. Size 6 rounds are freaking cheap. They last forever. They come in like a 6-pack for like $5 or whatever. So they're not as cheap as your 2 brushes, but these green brushes will last you so long. They hold the point. They're fully synthetic, but they'll hold the point for a very long time. So I love those brushes. I will use that for all of my base coats, and I'm super sloppy with my base coats. You can check out my class at Nemo or at Under the Dice Fest. And you can slop shit on. They're nice and big, and then I follow that up with using the Winsor Newton Series 7 brushes, which are much more expensive than 6 brushes for $5.
You're an actual, like...
You're an actual artist.
Let me tell you, though,
artist.
I bought 3 brushes. I bought 3 Series 7 brushes 2 years ago. I bought a size 0, a size 1, and a size 2. My size 0 had some of the bristles sticking out. So I emailed the company and I said, I paid $15 for this freaking brush. And the shit's all wily. And they said, So sorry, sir. Here's another brush. So now I have 2 size 0s.
Nice.
I have never used any other of the brushes besides one of the size 0s, and it still is perfectly pointed. And I use it for every paint job. It's never lost its tip. I did not need to buy 4 brushes. I could have just bought one size 0 Winsor & Newton Series 7, and it would have, like I said, 2.5, 3 years later, I use it every single day, and it is still just as pointy as the day I bought it.
What are your secrets to keeping it pointed tip?
Literally was about to ask,
don't use it with washes, because then it all gets, all this shit from being a house painter. Gets in the ferrule, and then that will make it split. I only use it for highlighting. So everything is base coated with cheap brushes, and then I just use that for dipping the end and highlighting. And then I lick it to the point, and then I use it again.
See, I've also never been a painter where I even give a shit that it gets in the ferrule.
Well, that's why you don't have any good points on your brushes.
Because it'll fan out like a motherfucker.
Yeah, they all do.
I think that I hate to be that guy who's just like, you got to get a nice brush, but it is probably the best hobby purchase I've ever made.
And if you're actively doing what you're saying, like
you're meticulous about where
you're using it and what you're using it on. Yeah, that absolutely.
I think sense. ADHD brain on this side of the table, can't handle that.
Maybe
I'm on one side of the table here. This is a fucked up.
Well, yeah,
but
this gets super glue in it, and it'll be all fucked up.
To that point, yeah. But I'm also of the painting style. I don't give a shit. So
yeah.
You should, Gage. You should give a shit about your toys.
It's my Necropolis warband that I'm probably my most proud warband of like guys that I've painted in a while. I used that size 6 you gave me for the entire thing.
Dude, it's pointy enough to do it. I mean, when people come to take the class, I'll probably have Saks green handle brushes that are just a smaller size than the size 6. But that's what I'm going to give to people. I'm going to be like, take this brush because it will just last you a very long time for a piece of shit fully synthetic brush. Yeah. It will just last you. I think it's because it's for kids and teachers they need them to last.
Yeah.
I mean, I use brushes that my kids use in the classroom that they've been using all year up to this point, mashing them fucking upside down, mixing shit together, throwing them across the room at their friends, and they'll still hold a point. That's
what I use in the studio. There's the ones from your kids at school.
Yeah, they're chewing on them, sticking them in their ears, doing whatever the fuck ever. But I would recommend that one time you just be like, okay, I'll spend the $12 or whatever on a size 0 Series 7. Or, I mean, I've never tried the Rosemary and Company ones, or there's the Raphael version of that, there's Da Vinci or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that they're all exactly the fucking same, but if you have a brush that's small and has a point, dude, eyes will be no fucking problem.
Yeah.
Dude, I do shine, a little shine mark on, I'm sure on these fucking guys, I'll have little shine marks on there.
Right.
On the eyes, and that's, I do that with the same brush I did 3 years ago. I did shine marks on the eyes.
Yeah.
And that shit was $12.
Tyler and I were talking about that the other day because he was painting the eyes on some fucked up.
His entire...
everything he's done. But I was playing Commander against Phil and his friends, and Tyler painted an orc for me. And he painted the eyes, and I was like, dude, how do you paint eyes? He's like, I actually use a brush with a tip.
Yes.
I was like, wow, thanks, man.
And you just keep that shit separate. It doesn't go in my brush cup with all the other brushes. It goes on the other side of the table, and it's only when it's all I need to do is put some highlights, and all I need to do is do a little bit at the top and stuff. And I'm not even particularly I'm not gentle with it or whatever. I'm still mashing shit in there. I'm still doing whatever, but the natural fur tips are, sorry, I mean, you're vegan, so I don't even know if you can, how you feel about, I mean, people who aren't vegan don't like that and I'm sure that there's listeners who probably have opinions about, using weasel hair.
Right.
I haven't thought enough about it to have an opinion about it one way or another, but, and, shout out Goobertown, the video where he, takes a piece of chewed up natural hair brush and essentially turns it back to brand new. These things are freaking bulletproof. If you just take, even if you fuck it up, you can still take it back.
As long as you don't get it in the ferrule.
As long as you don't get it in the ferrule. But even he has some fucking weird way. I forget what chemicals he's using, whether it's just alcohol or some other shit.
But doesn't that
pulls
melt
it out somehow?
Doesn't that fuck up the adhesion of the bristles to
the
brush?
It could, and I don't know how these are,
because there's adhesive
in
in there
totally.
that like keeps it bound. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know, but he has a great video on it where he does it with a synthetic brush too. But you'll always get that little hook with a synthetic brush, and you'll never get it with a natural airbrush.
It's so funny because I use just such shitty brushes all the time that I'm just used to painting with the hook.
Yeah, I got pretty good with it. I got nice with the hook.
Yeah,
but I mean,
nice with the hook.
This is also such a funny topic coming from like we're not a painting podcast, right?
No,
so it's like Hobby Podcast recommends using a good brush for painting.
Nah, use that synthetic with a hook. Just get nice with it.
Shit, it's all good.
I painted my whole Empire army with that.
And you could do a lot with any brush.
It's a real get what you pay for situation.
It has made all the dumb hobby purchases I've made. How much dumb shit do you probably have on your hobby desk?
Yeah.
Just buy a fucking $10 brush.
Yeah,
just like
absolutely.
one $10 brush.
Can you send me a link of what one? I'll go buy it.
I had a code.stone.jaw 10 for 10% off.
I have been thinking about that and how I just batch paint everything I do now. I have not sat and been like, I'm going to paint this one model and I'm going to try really hard on it. I haven't done that in years.
But even batch painting, it would be good for that because you're just going through and quickly putting highlights on things without having to I fucked this highlight up. Let me go back and fix that. And I used it. I had some Dick's Blick fucking gift card or some shit. That's how I got it. Yeah. I didn't go and pay full price. But if you got a gift card or one of those little Amex things, and you're like, what am I going to freaking spend this on? You could just go on there and
40% off coupon.
Random money Venmo'd to you like Terry does.
Yeah, that's true. I've never. That's a funny story. Okay,
that's an in-person story. I feel like
we'll end on this because it's funny. So I get random people sending me Venmo money all the time.
Wait, what,
dude? You've never heard that?
No,
dude. It's not just a haha. It happened twice thing.
It's all the time.
It's all the time.
What do you mean?
So. People
what do you mean people?
I don't know who these people are, but they're trying to send money to their friend or something. It'll be a random thing. It'll just be an emoji for pizza and a heart, and it'll be $25 or whatever. Or it'll be birthday gift for John or something like that, and it'll just be sent to me. And it'll be $50, $25. So I've tried to go through Venmo. And Venmo won't help you. They will just send you the frequently asked article. Yeah. And then I'm like,
they say it's a scam. Don't.
Yes. And then when you look it up, people are like, well, this is how people scam other people because then you send them the money back. Then they go through Venmo and somehow get the original money back. So they make
a weird money laundering thing.
And so
if you just ignore it, you just
ignore it. Terry just has a shitload of money.
I finally, so the listeners don't think I'm a complete shitbag. I finally got to the point where I was like, let me figure out if I can contact them. So I was commenting on the transaction, being like, hey, just so you know, I don't know who you are and you're sending me money. And a guy finally, because the original person didn't get back to me. So I was just trying to, and I sent them the money. I was like, fuck it. They've sent me enough money where it's even if this is some sort of scam, they can have an extra $25 or whatever. I'm you could just take it. You could scam me out of this because I have more that you've sent to me. So I sent back and they never responded. They never commented back saying, thank you so much. Or oops, my bad, won't do it again. But this other guy did. This other guy who had sent me money was oh, I'm so sorry. Please send the money back. And I sent him the money back and it was all just thank you so much. It means a lot. And then I was tell your friend that they're also sending it to the wrong person. So hopefully this doesn't happen again. But yes, this is a reoccurring problem in my life. Me just feeling guilty and being I don't know how to do this because I don't want to get ripped off on Venmo.
It's also, it couldn't happen to one of our friends that is the least technologically inclined.
Yeah.
I know. I don't want to use Venmo at all.
Yo, totally. I don't know how this shit works.
I have $500 on my Venmo.
Anyways, don't worry. I'm figuring it out, people. Don't think I'm a scumbag.
Yeah,
just
don't
stealing
message Terry
people's
giving
money.
advice. He doesn't need it.
No, I don't need it. Venmo's just going to send me a frequently asked questions article anyways if I try and do anything about it.
That's so funny.
Anyways, listener, go get yourself a nice brush. Treat yourself. It's going to be nice.
Or don't. Use a shit brush.
Hook brush.
Hook brush. Thanks for checking out this episode of Hive Scum. If you aren't already part of the community, check us out at the In Rust We Trust Discord, which you can find down in the description below. If you have questions you'd like to ask us, you can find our Instagrams down below as well. Or feel free to ask away on the Discord. We also have plenty of extra content and other perks available to our patrons on Patreon. So if you're interested in helping us keep doing what we're doing, then you can find that description below as well. Until next time, folks, keep it grimdark and keep it grimy. Peace.